Oh, hey friends, what's up? It's Tawana B. Smith here from Mom's Guide to Travel and TawanaBSmith.com. So trying out some new things here, but hopefully you like my overlay. Trying out my assistant has just kind of helped me with some stuff, trying to spruce up the production value of the videos a little bit. But today I want to talk to you about some local travel ideas for your self-care, for your own personal self-care vacation. If you're meeting me for the very first time, nice to meet you. I am the owner of Mom's Guide to Travel, a website where I started off actually just writing about travel writing, family travel, and I have morphed and evolved into this self-care travel strategist, group trip planner for women, although I did do couples trip this year, retreat this year, but also a retreat planner helping women, mothers specifically, leverage travel for their self-care and their business needs. So raise your hand if you would like to be here right now. Do you know where this is? I'm going to raise my hand because I would love to be there right now. That is Madeira, Portugal. And Madeira, Portugal is one of a few places in Portugal that are on my list. I don't know about you, but I do create a list of destinations and I keep it on my vision board or I write it down someplace where I really want to travel, places where I want to see, because I know that if I don't write it down, it does not happen. And so just like you might set goals for your business, or you might set goals for your health, or set goals for your weight loss or your family, whatever, I also definitely suggest that you set goals when it comes to your travel. So where in the world do you want to see? What are some of the things and the cultures that you want to experience when you go out in the world? Write that down someplace. Create a vision board for yourself so that you will get there. But you have to work towards that vision, work towards those goals by doing active things, activities, active tasks that will get you there. But in the meantime, in between time, when you cannot travel for your self-care and you just kind of need to get away for a couple of hours or half a day or a full day, I want to give you these 10 ideas. Last week, I did a broadcast where I talked about how the more self-care I get, the more self-care I want. If you can hear the background, my youngest son, who has autism, is screaming, you will know why I am constantly talking about self-care, because it's super important. It's important for special needs moms, but it's important for any of us modern moms that have children and that have jobs or businesses and a home to run, and maybe we don't have a nanny to help us. It's super important for us to make sure that, you know, we're changing the conversation and we're focusing on prioritizing ourselves instead of making ourselves dead last, where we're dealing with health issues, we're dealing with marital issues, we're dealing with mental issues. You've gotta prioritize yourself and make sure that you're thinking about your self-care all the time. So in this conversation that I had last week in that video, I talked about, you know, how last week I did several different things throughout the week, and they were small things where I took care of myself every single day. Hey, Alan. Alan was there for that conversation where I talked about the more self-care I get, the more self-care I want. I'm going to call myself a self-care addict in about like 2 seconds, right? But that's a good word for it. And I broke down pretty much what I did every day. And so it gave me the idea, it gave me the thought to give you all some suggestions on what you can do, because sometimes you're saying to yourself, you might think that self-care is this like huge, big thing, or maybe you think that self-care means just like, you know, going to the spa, and it's more than that. Self-care, first of all, it's 3 different elements of the self, 3 parts. So the mental self-care, mental/emotional self-care, the spiritual self-care, and then the physical self-care. And so you always want to do things, excuse me, I feel like I'm screaming. You always want to do something that kind of hits each part of that. And you see what Alan did? Alan shared out this video. So if you can do me a favor and share out this video and invite followers, whether you're watching it live or you're watching it on the replay, I appreciate it. Hello there, independent mom. Nice to see you. tell me your name. If you can do each one of those things, hit each one of those parts of the self, mental, spiritual, physical, I think that you would feel more whole every single day. So let's get to some of these topics. And you can always find the blog post. I wrote about this on my blog. And you can find the information on TawanaBSmith.com. Right there, TawanaBSmith.com, on the blog, where I talk about determining places that make you happy. So my happy places might not be your happy places, and vice versa. I might be like, yes, I love going to, Catalonia in Spain, because I really, really do. I've got a friend who's there right now, and I'm a little jealous that she's in Spain and I'm not. But I had my time. I did it last year. But you might say, you know what? My, happy place is in Israel, right? Maybe you don't like Costa Rica. Maybe you want to go to Puerto Rico. Whatever it is the place that makes you be able to feel better about yourself, to tap into your self-care. Whatever the place is, just go out and go do it for yourself. Hi, Gabby. It's nice to meet you. Oh my gosh. Have you watched the replay? Gabby, I'm really trying to play with my times here. This is an aside, everyone. Sorry that I am diverging from the conversation a little bit. So I'm playing with my times, Gabby. This is a good time before I take my son to OT, because I have no idea what I'm going to feel like after we get back from occupational therapy. So I said, let me get it in right now. So it's so nice to see you and have you here with me live. But in the article, right, in that blog post, I give you some suggestions on where you can go get some self-care in. And we're about to have a visitor who's really, really loud right now. So, and then again, this gives you an idea of like why I need to find quiet places. So, a day spa, or maybe a destination spa, right? I guess he didn't want to come in and get on camera, but a day spa or destination spa. Do you have a day spa or a destination spa that's like in your city? Girl, go there, get something. Okay, you might say to yourself, well, they're too expensive. Well, I'm not saying that you need to go get the 80-minute massage. You might just start off with like a pedicure, or maybe you just start off with like a 25-minute neck massage. Whatever your resources are, go and get it. Go enjoy yourself. Have an amazing time doing that. But you can go to the spa. Can you relate? Gabby can relate to everything that I'm saying right now, and the noise in the background, especially if your kids are still home for school for summertime. But go to the spa and get you some therapeutic self-care, physical self-care in. I'm fortunate enough to have the Four Seasons only like 40 minutes away from me. Now, can I go to the Four Seasons every week like I really want to? I know. But, I can maybe set aside money or, change the budget around a little bit. And we've got a little bit of a troll there. So if you see a little troll, you see someone that, duplicates your comment exactly, that's a bot. And you can just block it, delete it, whatever. I can't do it from my phone right now. So that's an idea for you. Maybe you can't do it every week, right? Or maybe you can only do it once every couple months. But it's an option. Another idea, going hiking, going to a park, a beautiful park. Google state parks in your area. Maybe you're lucky enough to live near a national park. Find a national park or state park or county park that's near you, and see if they've got a trail. See what are some of the amenities that they have at the park. I just wanted to kind of look at my phone here for a second. Sometimes I can't see everything. See what other things they have to do at that park that would be beneficial for you. You can really tap into some real mental kind of like quiet time by walking in the woods someplace. Honestly, really. We have an amazing park. We have several amazing parks here in Maryland, but one that's in Annapolis that I absolutely love. And it just offers a lot of things besides the hiking trail. They do concerts there, but they also have gorgeous access pier to the water where you see the boat. So lots of different things to do at that particular park. Maybe a library or a bookstore. Cozy bookstore, cozy, I meant to say coffee shop. I didn't mean to write library there. So by the time you see this article, it's not going to say library. I meant to say coffee shop. I was at anyway, coffee shop. That's what I meant to say. A cozy coffee shop or bookstore. It's an opportunity for you to tap into your creative self, possibly. I was at one this morning. I was at one yesterday. I try to change it up as a person who works from home, who, I run my own business. I actually had the conversation with myself that I need to change my scenery and not just be in my house. And it was excellent. I just was even more creative, just change it up for yourself. Cozy coffee shop. If Starbucks does it for you, Starbucks does it for you, because maybe you don't have one of those old time ones where you live, but coffee shops and bookstores are just fantastic for, tapping into the mind creatively. Holla if you hear me. Raise your hand. Okay. The other idea. My son is screaming at the very top of his lungs. He's going to be hoarse. Can you hear him? It's ridiculous. Okay. The other idea is a museum. You might not be into art, but you don't know. You might find something at the museum that inspires you. Go to a museum. Yoga or meditation center. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We're going to go through 5 more. A yoga or meditation center. Everyone suggests yoga. Maybe you're not into yoga. It took me a while to kind of appreciate yoga because I would always fall asleep because I would get into such, relaxation. Maybe a meditation center. Something that allows you to take it down a notch. If you can have one of those near you, go and explore it. The gym. Plenty of people go to the gym. You might not think of self-care at the gym. It's self-care. You're taking care of your body physically. How about a vineyard? Fellow Marylander, yay! Do you miss the museums in DC? Oh, are you in Florida? So I am a Maryland transplant. I'm originally from New York, so I grew up in a city that had all of these things, had the museums, all the art places. So I'm blessed to have lived in cities that do that. And even if it's not in the state where you are, maybe you can drive to one. I didn't know that Florida didn't have too many. I only think of Florida in terms of Disney. But yes, DC has amazing museums, and Maryland has a few awesome museums as well. A vineyard, right? Do you have a vineyard that's near you? A vineyard is a way for you to meet up with a girlfriend there, right? But you're tapping into your you're around greenery, you're around scenery. It's just a nice way to just bring it down a notch as well, and have some wine. I want to say who doesn't love wine, but I know there are people who don't love wine. So, an art store or a creative space. Think of like a scrapbooking store or a pottery making store. I forgot what's that chain of pottery making stores where you can go and have like these parties and create pottery with girlfriends. Or maybe you can just take a class. Tapping into your creative self. Let me go back to the vineyard thing. If you don't have a vineyard near you, a lot of wine stores, wine cellars, they might call them wine cellars or wine stores in your town will have wine tastings. So in lieu of going to a vineyard, you can go to a wine store in your town. The salon. Yeah, hello. We all like getting our hair done, right? I gotta do this thing like once every 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Like actually getting the curls and all of that stuff together. So, whatever. Go to the salon and take care of yourself instead of always doing it every single day for yourself, every single week for yourself. How about therapy? You might need therapy. I don't know if it's music therapy. I don't know if it's a psychotherapist. I don't know if it's a marriage counselor. You might just need therapy. I think we all could deal with therapy every once in a while in our life. Some sort of therapy, but that is really, really honing in and taking account of your self-care and having a professional work with you to do that. I mentioned a support group for whatever type of support that you need. I know that when my kids were young and I was just new to the area, I was a part of a support group for moms who stayed at home with their children, women of color, I should say specifically, who stayed at home with their children, because culturally that just wasn't really the norm for a lot of us. And so we needed support. We were all highly educated, but we were taking a stance and saying that we're going to leave corporate America and focus on our kids until a certain amount of time and then go back to that, or maybe not, stay and be entrepreneurs. But anyway, I was a part of that support group. I'm also a part of support group for children with special needs. So whatever type of support you need in your life, find a support group. It's really good for your self-care. And lastly, I think this is more than 10, a beach, lake, or a pond. Water. I'm a water sign. You might be a water sign. Even if you're not a water sign, there's just something majestic and something therapeutic about being near water. So I always like to suggest water to people, whether it's a pond, if you're near a nice beach. We don't really have nice beaches that close to me, or you're by a lake. Go get you some water. Go walk along the water, stare at the water, take pictures of the water, fall asleep by the water, but just take in all of the beauty and the energy that the water, that body of water, is giving off to you. I can't speak about it enough. You actually have to go there and feel it for yourself. So these are just some ideas of how you can do some local self-care travel. I want to invite you to go check out the blog on TawanaBSmith.com. Meetup.com is also a good place to find interest groups. You can join or create a group. Absolutely. I had a meetup group for a while, and then it was just a lot of work for me because of the other things that I was doing. So I do know that there are lots of meetup groups out there that are across so many different interests. You can find them if you don't want to necessarily, you're having a hard time finding a group for yourself. Meetup.com is a wonderful resource. Thank you so much for offering that. And then within Meetup.com, you might be able to find groups that tap into any one of, these things. Maybe it's a hiking group, or maybe it's a wine group, or maybe it's a support group. Maybe, who knows, whatever. You'll get the drift. TawanaBSmith.com. And in the link of this, I was going to say webinar, but it's a video. There's a live video. In the link of this live video, guys, I'm crazy today. In the link of this live video is my invitation to you to join me tomorrow for a webinar. Even if you cannot make the webinar, you do want to sign up for it so you can get the replay. It is bit.ly/self-care travel webinar. bit.ly/self-care travel webinar. Want to invite you to come to the webinar so that I can tell you specifically how self-care can help to support you, why you need to be self-care travel, why you need to be focusing on that now, and how you get your spouse to say yes. That's right. If you have to worry about the spouse saying yes. If you don't have to, you don't have to. I had women who went with me on my last retreat, a couple of single women, so they didn't have to worry about a spouse. But then there were some who did have spouses. And so, it's a different conversation that you need to have with them when you need to go on a little personal getaway without the family. And, I want to help you with the language that you need to get over any guilt, or, whether it's your own personal guilt or they try to guilt you. Girl, I got it all written down. I've been doing this for a minute. So you want to join that webinar, sign up for that webinar, bit.ly/self-care travel webinar tomorrow at 10. Even if you can't make it, you want to sign up. So as I close out our broadcast today, I just want to take you back to Portugal with me for a second. Gorgeous. Just imagine yourself there on the beach in the sun. And if you're in Portugal and you're watching this video, no, you're lucky. Tell us all about it. Tell me all about it. You can tweet at me at TawanaBSmith, but definitely go check out the blog post at TawanaBSmith.com and let me know what one of your favorite self-care places is locally. I can't wait to hear from you. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.